Dr. Paul Hutchison.
15 years and he did nothing.
Great pleasure to speak on the financial review of the Ministry of Defence Forces. And indeed, I must say that I was appalled to hear that old neck-bulging, shroud-waving revisitation from Phil Goff that we got once again, which demonstrates his absolute lack of integrity. But I too would like to join my colleague, the Honourable Jonathan Coleman.
Order. Now, I know this is a pretty robust debate, but you can't say that a member doesn't have integrity. So, Dr. Paul Hutchison.
Well, I withdraw that.
Now, I'm going to ask the member to stand and withdraw and apologise for that comment. You cannot say, tell the truth. Now, member, point it. Now,
look, I withdraw that comment about him not having any...
No, you don't comment about my ruling. Now, you better withdraw that comment.
Of course, Mr Chairman.
Right, now, let's get on with it. Dr. Paul
Mr Chairman,
Hutchison.
look, I too would like to join the Honourable Jonathan Coleman in paying tribute to our Defence Forces and the incredible work they do, not only in the active field, of which they have had many very important missions over the last few years, but also in the fields of peacekeeping, in the field of aid throughout the Pacific, and of course in the field of civil service, where they have shown incredible dedication and commitment down in Christchurch over the last few years. Mr Speaker, we heard from Phil Goff that he considered there were problems of morale, and it does seem a little rich when we look back to what happened under his watch when he gutted the Air Combat Wing in New Zealand, and then said, just prior to the 2005 election with Dr Cullen, that he would be able to sell off that whole wing at a reasonable price, and nothing happened. Not one thing happened until finally the national government has recently been able to sell off those planes. But the other issue that I think is really important to point out if we're talking about management, and that's the light armoured vehicles purchased under Phil Goff to the tune of $100 million or more, and very many of them were absolutely irrelevant and redundant and haven't been used to this day. That's the sort of management that Minister Phil Goff had over those 9 disgraceful years. But I would agree with Minister Coleman when he says that the saving and investment program has shown some very positive results. In fact, the very fact that we had to undergo a white paper in defence was due to the abysmal mismanagement under the 9 long years of Labour. But it has had some very positive results. The New Zealand Defence Force has achieved savings of more than $150 million over the last year, with an aim of $350 to $450 over the next few years. But every dollar saved has been reinvested back into frontline capabilities, and despite these tight fiscal constraints, these savings have funded a significant pay increase right throughout the forces, and that has been extremely well received. And to go on to morale and attrition, as I said before, the changes needed were as a result of the mismanagement of Labour over many years. We had the attrition rate back in 2001 that the Minister mentioned. But what we do know that over the last 3 quarters, morale has improved for each one of those quarters. 4 in every 5 of our people indicate they don't have an issue with their morale. And nearly 4 in every 5 of our people express satisfaction with their job. Morale wasn't measured until 2003, so it certainly doesn't cover the air combat capability review that occurred under the Labor government. And it is absolutely relevant to note that those who feel committed to the Defence Force outstrip those saying they feel uncommitted by 7 to 1. By 7 to 1.
The question is that the report of the Foreign Affairs, Defence and Trade Committee on the 2011-12 financial review of the New Zealand Defence Force be noted. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. I understand the next financial review members wish to debate is the financial review of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade. The question is that the report of the Foreign Affairs, Defence and Trade Committee on the 2011-12 financial review of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade be noted. The question is that the report of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade Committee on the 2011-12 financial review of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade be noted. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Members, I understand the next review members wish to debate is a review of the New Zealand Police. The question is that the report of the Law and Order Committee on the 2011-12 financial review of the New Zealand Police be noted. Call Jackie Dean.
Thank you, Mr Chair. Mr Chair, Minister of Police Anne Tolley is committed to New Zealanders being able to feel safe in their homes and feel safe in their communities. National is also committed to providing better public